A lot of stuff has been happening to Bloxburg over the past few months, which has caused many people to leave the game. So today we're going to talk about why Bloxburg's player count is decreasing. Before the video starts, if you could subscribe and help me get to 180,000, I would really appreciate it. Also, this video is not to hate on the developers or anyone involved in this issue. I'm just stating facts and giving my opinion. First up, which is probably the most worrying, is the decreasing player count. Back in 2023, when Bloxburg was still paid access, the game would average around 50 to 100,000 concurrent players, which for a paid game, that's insanely good. But now the game is free, meaning there should be way more people playing, but there's not. Bloxburg averages around 20 to 50,000 players today, more or less depending on the day of the week. And a few nights ago, it went as low as 7,000, which is definitely a bit worrying. Ever since the day Bloxburg went free, it has been steadily declining. I mean, the last time Bloxburg reached 100,000 concurrent players was on June 30th, and at the time of recording, that was 68 days ago. I'm gonna say this one last time, the game is free, meaning anyone can play. You don't need Robux, you don't need anything except a Roblox account. A lack of concurrent players usually means there's a lack of interest in the game, and the lack of interest in Bloxburg could be caused by so many different things. Let's start by using content creators as an example. If people no longer like Bloxburg, content creators could begin losing viewers, which could lead to them quitting Bloxburg, and that leads to less promotion of the game, which results in the player count decreasing even more. I personally know a handful of Bloxburg content creators that have publicly and privately stated that they are considering quitting, which would obviously be a really bad thing. And I'm not trying to say that content creators control every part of Bloxburg's success, because they don't, but they do assist in a large amount of the game's promotion. If we look at every other popular Roblox game like Brookhaven, Murder Mystery 2, Bloxfruits, and many other upcoming games, they all have one thing in common, and that is thousands of videos, TikToks, and posts that collectively gather millions of views. So a lack of content posted on Bloxburg could definitely be part of the issue. But as of right now, Bloxburg still has a pretty good amount of active content creators, which means currently that is not the cause. Players are still quitting though, so what else could be causing this decrease in players, and why is it happening? Well, that leads us to the next segment of the video. Ever since Equal Pay released, Bloxburg's update schedule has been slowing down. We used to get one large update per month, but now we get one update every other month. And sometimes the update is pretty big, but other times it is very small. For example, I would consider the campsite revamp a big update. We got a bug catching feature with rarities, new plants, and campsite items. But if we look at an update a few months earlier, we got a moving truck, couch on wheels, trophy, and that's it. The community waited a month and a half for those 3 items. So I think you can see why people were losing interest. The lack of updates and lack of good updates is causing the community to no longer get excited. And I feel like that alone is the biggest reason for the decrease in players. There's also a lot of complaining on Twitter to try and get people to stop playing the game. And while it might be doing something, I highly doubt it would change the player count. Remember that most of Bloxburg's audience is young, and that audience probably doesn't have Twitter. But that young audience is still leaving the game, and I have a pretty good feeling that the lack of updates is most of their reasoning. Let's go over another topic that upset a lot of people. Everyone was expecting the Bloxburg map to revamp when the game went free, because that would just make sense, and the video from Bloxburg's official YouTube channel made it sound like we would get a new map before the game went free. But once the day came, Bloxburg went free, and everything looked exactly the same. So people got their hopes up for nothing. Fast forward to today, and we still do not have a map revamp. This could be a very good explanation as to why people are leaving. Since the game went free without any update, people thought the revamp would release in the next update, but it didn't. So maybe the next update, but it didn't. As we kept getting more and more non-map revamp updates, the excitement and anticipation for the revamp went away. Since people only wanted a map revamp, they didn't care about the new updates, and that could definitely cause a lack of interest. People got tired of waiting and quit the game. When the map revamp eventually does come out, there will definitely be a big spike in players. But after that, it's up to the development team to maintain the player count. Here are some good steps to get Bloxburg back on the right track. First up, be more transparent and talk to the community. I think we can all agree that it feels like the development team is very secretive on what they are doing. This information could help the community understand what the developers are spending their time on, and I bet it would stop the claims that Bloxburg's developers sit around doing nothing. Next up, release larger updates and try to be more consistent. This is something that's easy to say, but in reality it's probably pretty difficult. So I don't know what the developers would have to do to make this possible, but the community would definitely appreciate more updates. And finally, number 3 is to avoid changes that have no positive impact on the game. Some very obvious examples are hospital bills, towing bills, and reduced pay. Everybody disliked these updates, and there wasn't really any reason to add them in the first place. So in the future, avoiding updates like these will keep the community happier. And that was a few reasons why Bloxburg's player count has been decreasing. Make sure to comment your thoughts on this issue and how you think it could be resolved. All of my social medias are down in the description, so if you want to follow me, make sure to check those out. But that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video.